stop. Before you watch anything else, I want you to go to nikamaples.com/publishing guide because I have a free resource to help you decide whether your book should be traditionally published or independently published. That's another way of saying self-published. If you're feeling stuck, like you can't move forward with writing until you know which publishing path you should choose, I've got the answer for you. Get on over to nikamaples.com/publishing guide and download your free guide today. Do you have writer's block? I got you. Legendary marketing genius Seth Godin believes that there is no such thing as writer's block. He claims writing is just an action like any other. You never get driver's block, you just get in the car and drive. You never have to deal with toothbrusher's block, you just start brushing your teeth. And to some degree, I agree with him. If you have writer's block, just write. You could write if you needed to. That permission slip for your child's school, that grocery list, that thank you note to a friend, all of those things are easy enough for you to put pen to paper and get to writing. So, what is the difference between all of those forms of writing and your manuscript, the one where you're feeling writer's block? The difference is emotion. So, what you are really experiencing when you say you're experiencing writer's block is emotion block. There are emotions that you don't want to feel when you sit down to write. You don't want to feel the doubt. You don't want to feel the frustration. You don't want to feel the discouragement, the confusion, the overwhelm, and all of the other uncomfortable emotions that come up for you every time you sit down in front of your computer. So you get up and leave to get out of the emotion, saying that you can't think of anything you want to write about and insisting that you have writer's block. So let's just go ahead and overcome the emotion block, shall we? Because that's the real problem. Not knowing what to write about can be one of the most emotional experiences that you can come across as a writer. You work hard to set aside a certain amount of time and dedicate it to your writing. And then you sit down and your brain feels completely void of creativity. You struggle stringing any coherent thoughts together. And as the time ticks away, you get more and more emotional about your lack of progress. So, what if I told you that emotions are just part of the process? I've written 6 books, so I should know. And not knowing what to write about is completely normal. It happens to every author, as far as I know. Nothing has gone wrong here. In fact, you're in very good company. As much as I'd like to be full of inspiration every time I sit down to write, there have been plenty of times where I've struggled to find the right words to express what I wanted to say. And there were even times when my writing felt more like a desert drought instead of a waterfall of inspiration. I felt blank. So, what do we do with all of the emotion? I'm talking about the doubt, the frustration, the discouragement, the confusion, the overwhelm, and all of that. What do we do with it when it comes up and we're hit by those dry stretches on the journey? Well, you will surely make a mistake if you choose to block those emotions by getting up from your chair and fleeing from them. So, don't make a move just yet. If you've experienced emotion block before, then you know that in that moment, no matter how committed you are to your writing, you need help to push past that stuck feeling. Let's talk through some strategies that you can use the next time you hit that emotional wall and feel the urge to run for your life. Strategy number 1, switch it up. Consistency is a great habit to have as an author, but sometimes you need a change of scenery or to break away from your usual writing routine to help push past your emotional block. If you usually write in a home office, move to a coffee shop. If you usually type on a laptop, take a journal and go outside to write with a pen. Yes, you can do this. I wrote an entire book by hand once. It filled up 10 marble notebooks before I was finished. Before you change your environment or your tools, you can restart the flow of creativity to your brain by switching up sights, sounds, even smells that you're used to while you write. But the key is to switch things up just enough to help you stay in the uncomfortable emotions. Take them to the new place with you. Strategy number 2, talk it out. Emotion block can be particularly embarrassing for authors because we're accustomed to being pros at how we express ourselves. And when all of a sudden you're unable to come up with a single sentence, it can feel like a creative emergency. Finding someone to verbally process a chapter or an idea with can be a fast way to rekindle inspiration. Hearing another author or friend's perspective is a great way to reboot. But I'll say it again, you're going to have to stay in the uncomfortable emotions while you do this. You can do that by saying to your friend, "Look, I have to admit, right now I'm feeling a lot of doubt and shame and embarrassment about my writing. But instead of hiding that, I'm gonna show my writing to someone. I'm not gonna block those emotions. I'm just gonna read this part out loud to you and feel all the feels while I get your feedback. Is that okay?" Your friend will be so honored that you opened up in that way. And you'll not only pass through the emotion block and get to creativity on the other side, but you'll also get the bonus of growing closer to your friend. And buckle up because they may share some emotions with you as well. Strategy number 3, move your body. Now, if working out isn't your favorite thing, don't be alarmed by this strategy. All you need to do is get your blood flowing. Wake up your brain by moving your body. This could be as simple as taking a 10-minute walk outside, going on a short bike ride, walking on a treadmill for 15 minutes, doing some cleaning around the house with extra energy. But don't treat this time of movement as a moment of escape. That's what people usually do. I'm telling you, completely engage with your emotions as you move. Process them. Say, "Oh, this is what doubt feels like. This is what frustration feels like. I'm feeling all the overwhelm in my body and it's okay." When you name an emotion, it loses its power over you. Strategy number 4, write anything. Your brain is going to feel totally empty, but I'm willing to bet that you do have something you can write down. Even if the most random thought comes to your head, start free writing it on a blank sheet of paper or directly into your document. Have that to-do list running through your head? Great, write it down. Planning out the schedule for tomorrow? Fantastic, write it down. Are you halfway through the day already, but you want to write down what you've done since you woke up? Great, whatever it takes, empty out your brain of all the thoughts that may be crowding your creativity, so that you can start with a clean slate. Words are words and all words count. Write it down. Strategy number 5, start anywhere. You are the author of your own writing and there are no rules. If you're stuck on the second chapter of your book, but you have a fabulous idea for the ending, just go ahead and jump to the end of the book and resume writing there. Your writing process needs to work for you. And that means it's going to look different for everyone. Give yourself the creative license to write in whatever way you want to, even if it means starting mid-sentence or writing in the middle of your book first or in the middle of a paragraph. You can worry about editing and making it all understandable for a reader later. But right now, the process that works for you is the one that you need to use. Make it make sense later. Don't give in to the false belief that all authors write the same way and that you're not a real author unless you do it the way they do it. That is not true. Strategy number 6, try your best to eliminate distractions. If you're trying to concentrate, but a TV is on in the background, or if the notifications on your phone keep going off, if the timer on the stove is beeping and the doorbell is ringing and the dog is barking, chances are that you are adding to the chaos in your brain with all this noise. Choose a space that has the least amount of distraction for you. Whether you're at home or at a library or somewhere else that you'll be interrupted infrequently. Everything you can do to minimize distractions will help. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Close all the extra tabs on your laptop. Create a sacred space where you can focus on writing just for a little while. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, anything will help. Strategy number 7, draw it out. Regardless of whether you are an incredible artist or well-versed in drawing stick figures, strategizing the outline of a chapter by drawing can be incredibly beneficial. When we access the creative side of our brain by drawing, we immediately begin to see connections that we didn't see before. And it gives our brain a break from overthinking what we're writing about. So start doodling on a spare Post-it note. Go crazy and break out the colored pencils. Start sketching and see what new ideas come to the surface. One of my clients drew herself being pestered by her emotions while she wrote. It was a light-hearted approach to processing what she was feeling without making too much of it. Strategy 8. Revisit your purpose for writing. Remember the driving motivation behind why you started writing in the first place. You have a message that you want to share and a passion for communicating with others through writing. So take a minute to revisit what inspired you to become an author and the initial excitement that you had when you wrote your very first story or blog post. Envision what your life will look like when your book is finally published and in your reader's hands and heart. Writer, trust me, one day you will be signing a copy of your best-selling book and you will look up at your precious reader and say, I experienced a lot of doubt and overwhelm and frustration and confusion to write this book for you, but it was totally worth it. Now would be a good time to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're usual around here, like or comment. Thank you so much.